This is the countryside. Now, if you want to be mobile out here, you need one of these. Or better still, one of these. And for a townie like me, choosing between the two is not difficult. The old Mitsubishi Shogun earned itself a fine reputation as the best mid-range off-roader you could buy. But that was before Land Rover launched the new Discovery. To meet this strident new challenge, Mitsubishi has completely reworked the Shogun to end up with this. To help it off-road, it has 8 inches of ground clearance, crawler gears for tackling steep gradients, and 2 locking differentials, which, let me tell you, in conditions like these can be pretty essential. There are also shorter overhangs to make life that little bit easier when attacking a sharp ridge. Certainly there was nothing on this fairly arduous off-road course near Granada that caused the new car to raise a sweat. But even if something had broken, this, like all Mitsubishis, comes with a 3-year warranty. Now, all dual-purpose vehicles of this type have to walk a fine line between off- and on-road ability. Make them good out here, and they'll be bouncy on the road. Tune them for the road, and out here you'd be better off with the horse. The old Shogun walked that line very well indeed, but the new one does it even better, and this is due in part to a clever new 4-wheel drive system. When you've finished fiddling around in the woods, all you need to do is move this lever into road mode and drive to the front wheel stops. To confirm that's happened, there's a few little lights on the dashboard. You don't even have to slow down, let alone stop, as you do in other cars of this type. And when just the rear wheels are being driven, noise, fuel consumption and wear are all reduced. If you want to save a few more pennies, you can go for the good old 2.5-litre turbo diesel, but if you subscribe, as I do, to the American view that there ain't no substitute for cubes, boy, by which I think they mean bigger engines are better, you'll go for this 3-litre V6. Not only has it got the power to uproot a giant redwood, it's also very quiet, very relaxed cruising companion. It even sounds very sporty as well. That sportiness isn't just pleasing to the ear either. The handling for such a top-heavy car on what has to be long-travel suspension is very good. And thanks to the fitment of tyres which are more suited to the M1 than a peat bog, grip isn't lacking either. See what I mean about the noise? Good, isn't it? Anyway, couple all this lot to sensibly weighted power steering, throw in optional anti-lock brakes, and you have a pretty fair imitation of a normal saloon. Having said that, the high driving position and £18,000 price tag do serve as reminders that you're in something special. Overall, though, your granny could take this to the shops with no problem at all. The Shogun may be very car-like to drive, but there's no mistaking its off-road origins when you're in here. Yes, there's lots of toys, but it's a bit plasticky, and there are all sorts of crazy knobs and dials. Craziest of the lot must be the altimeter, but the compass and the inclinometer run it a close second and third, I reckon. That sort of flamboyance is translated to the exterior, which has lost some of the old model's rustic charm. Thanks to its gaudy paint job and flared wheel arches, I have to say this model I think would be rather more at home outside a wine bar than in the paddock of a point-to-point. Now, this is the short wheelbase 3-door model. It's not the most practical car you're ever going to come across. It's very difficult to get into the back, and once you're there, there's not a lot of space. The boot's pretty tiny too. But it is very trendy. It'd be great for posing around town, and I must confess, I'd rather like one. Also be terrific for a dirty weekend. But if you want a dirty weekend of an entirely different nature, you're better off with one of these. Now, it's got exactly the same engine options and trim levels, but it's 2 feet longer and it's got 5 doors. Now, that means there's room enough in there for 7 seats, but of course you can fold all those away, and then there's room enough for the kitchen sink. Now, on this showing, the horse has pretty much had it, but more important than that, Land Rover had better watch their backs as well.